All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning from Vegas, but if you're on the East Coast, it's afternoon already. So we were just having a little quick chat here, Mike and I, about who would win in a fight, me or Mike. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you want to put up that chat and ask that question. I can tell you that much. We've been here with each other now for I don't even know how many days, and things are getting a little hairy out here between Joey and I.
Yeah, it's true. No, seriously, guys, do us a favor, hit up the chat. Let us know that you can hear us and see us okay. We're actually going to throw the chat up for this discussion.
Nice.
Mike, it's been a while since it's just been you and I. We've had
Well,
a ton of interviews.
I'm surprised you know where the booth is. I'm surprised. I was going to have to send you my GPS coordinates because you ain't been here all week.
Killing me, man. Killing me. We got little Chris up in the chat. What's up, little Chris? Can you hear us okay, man? So, Mike, I woke up this morning. I grabbed my phone. I started scrolling through Facebook and found some big news.
Big news indeed.
It's not often I can tell you news, right?
Yeah.
Before you saw it. But the Super Billiards Expo announced that their event is now a Matchroom ranking event.
Yeah.
And along with that,
but hold on a second.
Yeah.
Super Billiards Expo is 10 ball. It's a 10 ball open event, pro event.
Yeah, not anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, switching to 9 ball, switching to, I don't know what they were doing before, whether it was 64 players. I think it was. Now it's 128 players. And yeah, I mean,
shocked is not the word, and it's not because they're not jumping on board. For me, that wasn't the reason why I was kind of taken back by it. Nor was it the fact that they're changing over to 9 ball. For me, it's the timing of it. I mean, it's kind of brutal. We're a few weeks out from SBE, and as someone who's been debating whether or not I'm going or not, I know that the time is running out to make that decision. And so when I seen this on there, I'm like, I'm putting myself in the shoes of the players, and it's like, it's a tough spot for sure.
Sounds like you're going.
I don't know yet. I may, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's brutal, but it's brutal in a good way. There's a lot of things now that are brutal for the players in terms of schedule and calendar.
Yeah,
but in a positive way, right? Things that are going to help their stature. If you look at the United States players, a lot of them were looking to have to go up over to Europe to try to get points to qualify for Moscone. Well, now there's another event here on American soil. A great event, really, in New Jersey.
100%.
Yeah, I used to go when it was in Valley Forge. Great event, and Alan Hopkins does a good job of running that event, and so it'll be really interesting to see who all turns up at that thing.
No, absolutely. You could not be more correct. And what the good things that I took away from it was that they're playing the long game here, right? I'd be shocked if it's going to be a 1-year move. The fact they're jumping on board Matchroom events, we've seen in the past where the first year I went to the Super Billiards Expo, all the big boys were gone. And the reason why they were gone was because they're playing in the World Pool Masters. By them getting on board, it's, they're not going to be, smothered out, right? So they'll be able to, move their elbows about, get top players back in there because, not just domestic, but foreign players are going to be going now. I don't know what that player list would look like this year. Of course, I think there's going to be more Americans that are vying for one of those open Moscone Cup spots, and I do think it's wide open. But I think that for the next few years, it's going to be a premier event now because it has a lot of the same characteristics that this event has. You have league players matched up with pro players. The only thing I didn't like of it whenever I was there was the separation of it because you had it in a separate room. You have to pay an admission to go and get in there. So it's like you really have to be a diehard in order to go and watch. But if you marry that with an elite field, then it'd be worth the price of admission. But timing wise, I know a couple of guys who aren't going to the World Championships that I talked to this morning, where they were happy because now they get another chance to go and rake up some points. I know some guys who are going to the World Championships who are like, what is going on here? We only got 3 weeks notice. So, but I think in the long run, it's great because they're going to be able to work together, right? Which is what we heard a lot of yesterday. And speaking of yesterday, I'm surprised, you're even allowed back on the show after the way you opened up the interview yesterday, buddy.
Well, I caught a lot of heat from that, at least from Melina Mike. We had Karim from Predator on, and I just got right into it and asked him about the tables. Like, hi, how you doing? Let's talk about the tables. But I thought I wanted to, the point of that is I wanted to give him the opportunity to address it. Right, he's sitting there, he's getting blasted on social media.
Right.
You know, there's tons of talk about the tables, and so I just wanted to start the interview off with a difficult question, but one where he could set the record straight, and then we can move on.
Usually, I'm the troublemaker of the bunch, though.
I know.
Like, I didn't know how to take it. You completely put me on tilt. You know,
You're rubbing off on me, not in a good
30
way.
seconds into it, and I didn't know. I didn't even know you yesterday, man.
Well,
you
I
know?
tell you, once we got past that, Mike, we started talking about his background, what inspires him.
Right.
It turned into just a really great interview, I thought.
And for full disclosure, this is what prompted me to go and ask him to come on the show, because I'm in the back. I think it was the second or third day when I'm here, and I'm watching Yap play. John Moram. Kachi's in a shootout with Stephen Holman of Canada, and Kareem's there, and he just comes up, and we just start cutting up, and we start talking, and he goes on about his history, and I can see the frustration in his voice whenever he talks about the tables and the cloth and the conditions, and it's not to the standard that he wants. And I'm like, why are you telling me? Like, let's bring you on the show. Let the fans go and hear where you're coming from, because people will give you much more slack if they see you have that same frustration that they do.
Yeah.
Versus, because we've seen promoters in the past where it's kind of like, just deal with it,
Yeah.
or they want to just pretend like the elephant in the room isn't there, right? And like I told you during the interview, man, he was there was so many mornings when he's the first one there. There's nights whenever I'm dead tired and I showed up here later than everybody else, and he's still out there at midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then they're showing back up here at 6 o'clock in the morning. When I asked him to go and come on, the first thing he says, I said, well, let's do it tomorrow, right? Let's not waste any time. Let's do it tomorrow, right? And this is in the thick of like all that, tablecloth, stretched out drama or whatever. He was like, no. Tables come first. I need to make sure the tables are going to be, up to par. Once I get it straightened out, give me a couple of days, and I guarantee we'll be able to do it. And we gave him a little bit of a heads up, but to be fair, after that, he said, you know what, Mike, you ask me whatever the hell you want to ask me.
Yeah.
Whatever hard question, whatever tough question you want to go and throw at me, you make sure and you do it,
Yeah. So, guys, do us a favor. Make sure to like and share this and get your comments in. We want to hear. We're here. We're your eyes and ears at the event at the CSI Expo. Things are heating up. You might hear some background noise today. There's tons of teams here. Everything is cooking. So if you have any questions for us, get us in here. We'll do get it in here. We'll do our best to get you guys some answers. But yeah, Mike, just so people kind of realize how these interviews go, sometimes there's some people that we want to interview and they want a list of questions ahead of time so they can kind of prep and prepare.
And I'm not that guy.
Yeah. Well, we prefer not to, right? Because then we can just have a conversation with someone.
Yeah.
And Kareem, that's what happened with Kareem. He said, look, you can ask me whatever you want. He didn't ask
But
for
I'm
the questions.
saying, Joey, you couldn't like build it up a little bit. Like you couldn't go and just, hey, thanks a lot. We really appreciate you coming on the show. Like you just came out with the gloves off, man. I mean, just straight off.
Yeah, it wasn't my best moment.
I mean, listen, we appreciate it. I'm giving you a hard time, but it was a lot of fun and a pretty awesome moment because he doesn't do it very often. And he came back later on. It was funny. It was maybe like 30 or 40 minutes after the interview was over with, right? And he comes back up, and I'm like, oh shit, he's coming back, and he's gonna, chew us out for something. And he's like, he saw some questions in the chat and that he wanted to go and address, and he realized he didn't get to address it. So we'll be having him on soon, you know. So
and we have other things lined up too, just so you guys know. Shorty, we appreciate what you said in here. He said we're killing it with the interviews. We're going to interview the young Eric Roberts, who's out there competing right now. You want to talk about
a kid who's just killing it, man.
Yeah, we're gonna get him in here at some point.
Beat
unless he snaps this whole thing off.
Beat Yukio. Yukio's the number one player in Japan. I mean, I know Oi gets a lot of credit because he's kind of the face of Japan pool. But in terms of, I think in terms of Fargo and maybe accomplishments, Yukio is by far the more accomplished player, and the kid took him down hill. So we get done last night, and I run inside the pro arena, and I hadn't seen the kid really play at all, and Yukio was running out to make it hill 7-7. Eric's break. I mean, the kid was just like, you would have thought he was just hitting balls in his room. Yeah. I mean, he didn't look like he had any fear at all. It was incredible.
Yeah, and then also we're going to interview the young kid from Finland, Riku. Been speaking with his dad, and he couldn't do it right now.
It's the one that took down Sky, right?
Yeah, he beat Sky Woodward in the Alpha
in a shootout. The Alpha Las Vegas.
Alpha,
you ought to
you.
know, yeah.
Thank
yeah,
you, my
yeah.
man.
The way
It's
you
been a
called out
long
Kareem
week.
yesterday, you ought to know that because that was the first line out of your mouth that yesterday.
Yeah, but I was talking to his dad this morning, and he's up in his room doing homework. So that's why he couldn't be down here right now for the interview. But he will be coming down, and we will be interviewing him as well. But, Mike, why don't we go through the matchups? There's 10 a.m. matchups, and we're playing down to the final 32 right now. So
Negative, Ghost Rider. We're playing down to the final 64, and then we're going into a redraw. So,
64?
Final 64. The guys on
I don't think so, Mike.
No, it's 100% accurate. The guys up top are going to be the guys up top are already qualified for the final 64.
Oh,
so
these guys have to win 2 now at the bottom.
No. They only got to win 1 more, and then they're gonna have a redraw, I believe. So at least like the guys playing the 10 a.m. round, if they win, they're through to the final 64 single elimination round. So all the matchups happening right now are doing that, which it looks like we have one guy who advanced already in Michael Snyder. He beat Jason Theron 8-3, so he's through. Jonas Suto takes down Danny Olsen 8-4, so he's through. But yeah, all the guys.
We got to get their story straight because there's people who got through the winners bracket that posted they're through to the final 32. Maybe they made a mistake.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, no, yeah, it's 100% the final 64.
Final 64.
Final
okay,
64. I think so.
Because it was a 128 player field. I think it's wrong. I think it's final 32, Mike.
Okay.
This is the first time I've ever had some pool knowledge over you, I think. Other than what actually happens on a pool table.
I don't know what to tell you. Well, yeah.
All right.
I'll still take 10-6.
So Michael Snyder's through. Jonas Suto is also through. He beat Danny Olsen 8-4. Dennis Grabe is in a match right now with Radislav Babika. It's 5-3 Grabe. Blaine Barkas, great tournament for Blaine. He's actually up 5-4 right now.
It's a big win if he can go take down Wu Kun Lin, who's a monster, and that's kind of a big deal. I mean, I know Blaine's already had some pretty decent wins, the entire time he's been out here, but to go and beat Wu Kun Lin, hello.
Yeah, Oscar Dominguez cruising right along. He's up 7-1 right now, so we would expect him to get through. Alex Kazakis is up 5-4. That's on the TV table over Ruiz.
One of them is going to be going home, and there's a lot of guys who are big names who are out the door already, buddy.
Yeah, so if you guys aren't tuning into that, head over to World Billiard TV on YouTube and check out that match. It's completely free, so make sure that you're checking that out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. See, Nick says final 32.
Well, then I believe Nick because he can hear from anywhere in the world, so I believe him 100%.
He went in with the ear comment. I'm sorry, Nick. I'm sorry.
He's accurate.
We got a tight matchup here with Sharik Syed and Kopigny at 4-4 right now. They're knotted up. And then we got a whole bunch of matches slated for noon.
You can't just scoot on by that. That's a big deal.
That is big news.
I mean, we had Sharik on, and you want to talk about poised. I mean, I was over there just a minute ago in the pro arena while Joey showed up late again. For like the 18th day in a row.
I had to bring the coffee.
But I saw Sharik and Cole go and play a little bit. Sharik's break was phenomenal, and that's one of those signature wins as well. And that would be the third Cole brother. If Sharik were to hold on and win, that would be all three Cole brothers are out because Ko Ping Chung left last night, losing Omar Al Shaheen. Ko Ping Han went out early already in this event, so they got expectations. But to be fair, they haven't been here in a couple of years. But either way, man,
let me tell you something.
It's getting down to nitty gritty.
I love those guys. Those guys were out here. There's a table right in front of us, Mike. Not the one over here where people have been playing on the 9-footer, but there's a 7-foot table where people are taking pictures and there's banners all around it. And I saw them out here just playing with, regular people, spectators, one young kid, and they're just taking pictures and having fun. I mean, that's asking a lot, coming to a country where you don't understand the language and just getting in and mingling with the fans. Really cool.
Same thing with Tyler, man. I was here the other day, and Tyler's here just giving some kid like lessons, and I think Yeah. Your stepson. He was here. The kid was out here just hitting balls. Tyler walks by, and then he just stops and just giving him pointers. And then by the time like 10 minutes later, Tyler's still here, hitting balls with the kid. And then by the time you know it, there's just a huge crowd all the way around. So there's cool little moments like that you get to see around here. I love players that go and interact with fans. It's been an awesome event, man.
Yeah. Back to that Sharik Syed. If you check out one of our interviews we did earlier in the week, we interviewed him man, that kid has just got it put together. He's got his head on straight, and I'm rooting for him. He just fell down 5-4 to Copigny, though, so he's got his work cut out for
a little
him.
bit, but you got some time. You got some time still.
Yeah.
So
The noon matches. Let's go through those. We got Corey Dool against Roberto Bartol.
who do you like?
I don't really know too much about Roberto. Tell us about him, Mike.
I mean, I know he's a European player, and I know I've seen his name a lot here and there. Corey's break, for my money, can be a little inconsistent when it comes to 10 ball. I don't know if he's using the rake to go and break the balls like he did last year. I think it's interesting. It's a big win for Corey, beating Snagaki the round before, so I think he would have a little bit of an edge, but it wouldn't surprise me either way.
Yes, Snagaki's really been playing well too.
Yeah, for sure.
That was a good win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then we got Hussein versus Justin Martin. Justin Martin's having a good tournament.
Yeah, he's one of the ones that I was talking to this morning, where his ears kind of perked up at the sound of the expo, because he's not going to the World Championship. So, for a guy like him, it's an opportunity to kind of get some points under his belt. And Justin, if he's settled, he can go and play pool with anybody. We saw him at the International Open. He goes hill with Albin Ocean, and he led most of the match. And Albin ended up going off to win that tournament. So, and I know it's just one event, and I don't want to go and overstate it, but it's my point is that he can play 9-ball with anybody.
We watched him against Blake Baker struggle on that TV table, but then
that's
night,
being nice.
Yeah, last night he talked about how he played the best that he's played out here. He beat Max Eberle 8-1. Max can play. Max had some good wins earlier in this tournament. So this is a good opportunity. It's setting up nicely for Justin Martin to get into that redraw.
And I like Justin a lot personally. And I want to get him on the show, man, because he's one of those kids that needs, exposure, a young man rather, that needs exposure. And he's doing all the right things, presents himself well. Just a good ambassador for the game, and his head's on right, man. Just solid.
Another good young man, Blake Baker, he came up a little short last night against Chiang Jong Lin, and Chiang advanced to face David Alcade at noon today.
Pinozo's got jokes.
Oh, Pinozo's telling jokes? Yeah, that's right. Molina's not often wrong. I knew it was the final 32, man. You're dogging it.
All right, I'm dogging it.
We got a big matchup with Chris Reinhold and Omar Shaheen. It seemed like Omar has been struggling in this event, but then he knocks off Chung last night.
He doesn't look himself. I saw him earlier, and usually Omar is just happy-go-lucky and always smiling. And I don't know if it's just Vegas, because this is what Vegas does. After you're here for a few days, it can kind of wear you down a little bit. But he didn't quite look himself. But to go and beat, Ko Ping Chung on the TV table, I didn't get to watch a whole lot of it, so I don't know how they're playing the game, so to speak. But definitely a big win. Chris has kind of had some signature wins also, in the last few events. So it's time to step up to the game if you want to go and win a world title.
And you and I saw Chris the other night at Griff's, and we were watching him break 10 ball, and it's a completely different Chris than what we saw a couple years ago when he played Danny Olson.
I will take Chris Reinhold over Shane McMahon if anybody wants to bet. I'll put it like that. And you can hit me up in Facebook or Messenger or whatever. I will take Chris Reinhold to beat Shane McMahon when they play next month. Big table 10 ball. So, and I'll just leave it at that.
All righty then. All right, we have Chiang Jong Lin against
That's
Alex
a heavyweight.
Lion.
That's a heavyweight, man.
Yeah, I think you got to favor Chiang here. I love Alex. Love Alex to death.
Way to go out on a limb. Every other top player we've asked who their pick is to win the World 10 ball said Chiang, and then you're saying like it's some breaking news that he's favored over Alex.
The highlight of my week, Mike, other than the shot I made that Shane was watching and he didn't even remember, is when you asked me to pick a round of bets for you and give you the lines on them, and you were going to send them to somebody to see if they wanted to bet. And I sent them to you, and you didn't come back and criticize any of my picks. I felt like, hey, I'm
Ask Travis, our business partner with 1PKT, because those went to him, and neither one, we were just speechless. So I wouldn't necessarily take it as a compliment, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But yes, Chiang Jong Lin and Alex Line, that's a heavyweight. That's a big boy matchup. Alex is a world champion. We all know how big of a break Chang's 10 ball break is. And it's a triangle rack, so it's like Chang's big break isn't necessarily as effective. If I know Alex the way I think I do, I'm going to guess he's going to be breaking from the side rail, and he's going to try to turn it into a moving game, because at this point of his career, that's what he has to go and do. But he's smart enough to know and go and realize it. And I guarantee one of the few guys you do not want to get in a moving battle with, it's Alex Line.
Smartest player in the game, I think. No doubt about it. Roland Garcia against Misko Fortunski.
Yeah, I mean, it's both players have to do something. We've seen Roland get to finals and semifinals a lot lately. Fortunsky seems to always be there in the last day or the last few days rather. But I want to see them take that next step. I love Roland. Roland's awesome, so I'd love to see him go deep in this event.
Yeah, he lost a tough hill match to Shane Van Boom yesterday, and Fortunsky, it's time for him to break through. Get to this final 32 and make some moves. And his counterpart from Poland won the Alpha Las Vegas Open.
Victor's out though.
I know
He's done. Yeah, he's out of the event.
Two and out. Yeah. And did you see the picture that they took together, him and his opponent, when he got eliminated, right at the base of the table, smiling with his arm around his opponent?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
I didn't see it.
I guess it's easy when you're 30,000 richer.
Why don't you have it on standby to go if you're going to bring it up? Put it on the show. Let the fans go and see, man.
Hey, at least I knew we were cutting down to the final 32.
And I'm dogging.
All right, couple more high profile matchups here. We have Thorston Holman against Jason Shaw. Jason knocked off Tommy Tokoff last night.
Yeah,
and I think. Who did Thorston come up short against? I don't remember right now.
I'm not sure, but Thorston's been playing better. I saw him play Chiang Jong Lin in the Alpha event, and he was playing solid. As it tightens up, you really got to go and deliver, and I saw him kind of fall short, in that department. But yeah, it's gonna be. Jason's gonna be a favorite, and he's supposed to go and win that. Now, if Thorston wins something close, I'd be surprised, but only small. But I want to see Jason win a big one too, and I think he's got a really good opportunity. You get through to the final 32, you can breathe. The final 32, you can breathe, and now it's like you only got one bullet, like everybody else. So
yeah, and then final matchup of the noon matchups is John Schmidt against Ps Labudas, and I can't tell you how happy I am to see John in there. John came up to us after the Alpha Las Vegas Open.
What do you mean after? Before
and after. Yeah. And, just talking about, like, you could tell he was struggling with his confidence, but always smiling, always happy, and showed us some shots, some one-pocket shots. We were having a good time out here, and he's like, man, if I could just catch a gear, I could do some stuff. And he did. He caught a gear in this event. He's through to the final 64, and he's got a chance to make it to the final 32, and I'd really love to see it. But he's got his hands full right now because I watched this almost the entire match last night with Labudas and Albin Ocean, and it was 8-2, and it wasn't that close. It could have been 8-0.
Yeah, but
Labudas played great. Albin just seemed like he wasn't with it. Missed a couple shots.
We've seen it with Albin when he gets in his own head and he gets frustrated. And I was there standing with you for a little bit, and that's what I saw right off the bat. I think it was starting off like 3-0 in the hole, and Albin goes to break, and for me, he was breaking too hard, and that's the reason why he wasn't getting a lot of these traditional balls that you expect to kind of get. Everything was running a little bit high, and he didn't. He seemed that his frustration trumped his ability to kind of go and adjust mid match, and it kind of got in his head.
Yeah, he missed an 8-ball on the side that you never see him miss. It was kind of similar to the 8-ball that you missed when you were dumping on me the other day.
Here we go. We start firing 100 to rack, and then. And I get a little out of line, miss an 8-ball, and then all of a sudden I'm dumping my man. Okay.
All right, so they're playing down till 16 from that loser bracket, but the guys that are already through right now, let's talk about them real quick. We got Mark Bistrobash, who knocked off Michael Schneider, although Michael Schneider will also be in that final 32 now because he won earlier today. And the other person from that grouping, Kazakis, lost to Robbie Capito. So Robbie Capito is through.
Yeah, and Robbie just came off a big win in California over Carlo Beato. So, and Robbie had a couple of wins that maybe he was an underdog with, but won outright. So he's got a lot of confidence right now. He's it reminds me similar of Sanjin. Sanjin's one of those guys where he's just been on fire lately. So, and all it takes is a little bit of momentum, a big win in an event. And who knows, man, they can go and springboard you.
Speaking of Sanjin, he's undefeated in this event. He's through to the final 32. Ralph Souquet with an 8-3 victory over Blaine Barkas made it to the final 32. What can you say about Ralph?
Man just will not go away, man. I mean, whatever the hell Ralph Souquet is doing, I want to be doing. My life is down here when I think about everything Ralph's accomplishing at this point in his career. I mean, the guy's just timeless, man. It's unbelievable.
It really is. It really is. I mean, you can look at a couple who are. I'm trying to think who. Well, Bustamante's similar, right?
Right. Yeah.
Francisco, at this point in his career, he could probably still get out there and compete and do things. At least the last couple of years he was. Before the pandemic.
But Ralph consistently goes deep. Like he's not winning anything, but he's consistent. Well, he take that back because he just won,
European championship.
the team championships in Europe.
You're still dogging it.
But it's Ralph is always there in the mix, always.
Yeah,
and it's crazy because the game's gotten so much younger and so much deeper, and yet he's still there.
Technology has changed. So
Boy, you're just breaking news left and right, buddy. You are on fire.
So I'm just saying, he's managed to keep up with all that, and he's still getting deep in these events. Daniel Maciol knocked off Babika, so he's into the final 32. This happened last night, as well as Mika Immonen. Mike. Through to the final 32. Why are you
saying his name like that?
How do you say it?
Why are you saying this? I don't know. You're making it real awkward, though. I know that. Right? All I'm gonna say.
By the way, our buddy Riku's dad, Arrow, is streaming Mika's matches to Riku's Facebook page. So
okay, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
So if you guys want to, anytime you see Mika up on the bracket, you can check that out. If you go to Riku Rampanen, his Facebook page, you'll be able to catch that match as well. And then Darren Appleton knocked off John Schmidt to qualify for the final 32. Darren's having a great tournament.
Dude, I love seeing Darren Appleton go deep in events. I make no bones about it. He's one of my favorite players. When I was growing up watching pool and seeing him on ESPN and seeing him win, World 9-ball, World 10-ball, World 8-ball, Chinese 8-ball. I mean, and to go and say, yeah, I'm going to go back out there and compete, and to put your money where your mouth is, So yeah. I'm real happy for him.
Hey guys, do us a favor. Hit up the comments. Let me know what you guys think of this draw, the brackets. I can put the brackets in here if you need them. But you can find them on probilliardseries.com/predator-world-10ball- I don't know. You'll find it once you get there and check it out. But somebody asked, do you guys have Facebook that I can follow you on? Yeah, we're on Windows Open on Facebook. So go to that page. Make sure to follow and like it. Also, Pool Player Podcast on Facebook. Yep. Also, follow and like, please. And then, again, YouTube, Pool Player Podcast. You can check us out there. Let us know what you think so far in the comments about who you like from here. We got a couple more to go through. The match I was talking about earlier where Thorston lost was the Conrad Jiu-Jitsu.
Say that 5 times.
He advances to the final 32. I really think one of the things that's inspired Conrad is his victory over me in the Alpha Las Vegas Open. That really kicked him into gear. He's been playing great since then.
That was the one that got him over the hump.
I think so. Yeah, he was struggling up to that point.
So okay, let me ask you this, and I'm gonna put a little bit of money on it. Okay.
Okay.
If he snaps this thing off, and they're gonna do the interview afterwards, right? Not us, but if they're gonna go and interview him, and they'll ask him, what was that spark plug to go and get you on the road to the victory? He's gonna say that match with you.
Well, he might not remember my name, but he'll say that redhead.
Okay.
And it might be Tyler Steyer.
Okay.
So as we mentioned, Shane Van Boning advanced. He knocked off Roland Garcia. Hill. That was quite an exciting match. I was watching Nick DeLeon stream that from his phone. That was pretty interesting. And Edgy Geronimo. He's undefeated so far. He advanced. He beat Chiang last night.
Filipinos can play 10-ball.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Filipinos play 10-ball, but you can't just look past Shane because Shane's going deep in a world championship.
Yeah.
And as each round happens, the expectations start ratcheting up. We saw it last year in the World 9-ball, and he ended up running into Ps, who he was sparring with in Romania. But there's going to be monsters all over, landmines to go and dodge. But I think a lot of fans want to see Shane get the monkey off his back.
I agree.
Except for Penozo, because Penozo doesn't give any respect to world championships at all. Everybody except for Penozo.
Naoki Oi, I think he heard that you said somebody else was the best player in Japan, so he knocked off Chris Reinhold 8-2. Yesterday, he advances to the final 32. And what a tournament so far by Christopher Tevez.
Latin America representing, buddy.
What country is he from, Mike?
Why are you putting me on the spot like that, man? I don't remember off the top of my head.
You're from Latin America. Your descendants. He knocks off.
Davis is playing great. Him and Gerson.
Peru. Isn't he from Peru?
Yeah, I think so. I think I think Gerson's from Peru, I think. Well, we can look it up on social media.
Dogging it.
Yeah.
Dogging it. If he's from Peru, here's my question. Who's the best player from Peru? Him or Manny Chao?
Why are you trying to put Why are you trying to make me have enemies? I do enough. I do a good enough job of that on my own. I don't need your help making enemies in the sport, man.
Manny's a good friend of mine.
Manny's a good friend of mine too.
We got to call it like we see it. I mean, this guy's out here playing. Manny hasn't been playing as much.
Okay, if it's Banks, give me Manny. If it's 10 ball, give me Tevis.
Okay, one pocket Manny.
One pocket, definitely Manny. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the game matters. 9 ball, I guess Tevis would have a slight edge, but Manny can go and get there. I wish Manny was here.
Clay Belvoir says Peru.
Okay, well, there you go.
Thank you. Yeah.
All we do is Google it. Why are you trying to put me on the spot like that, man?
I knew you were dogging it. I just wanted to prove that I knew something you didn't know again.
Oh God, here we go. Okay.
So Wojciech advanced. Had a victory over Hussein 8-3. Yesterday we had Carlo Beato cruising right along. He's going to be tough to beat. He's going to be real tough to beat.
Find a flaw.
I know.
The guy's been there before. He knows what it takes to get into a final. He knows what it takes to execute in the final. He's lost in the final of the World Championship also. Carlos smooth. He's got a big break. Safety plays great. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But you got to get there.
Well, I'll tell you what. I saw him in the hallway, and this is the kind of color that we're hoping to bring to you guys. Things that you're not going to see at home.
You're bringing color?
Trying.
I mean, you look clear. You look a little clear, buddy.
I'm walking down the hallway, Mike. You know how if you guys haven't been to the Rio, to get from the hotel to the convention center is probably what, a mile walk or 3/4 of a mile. It feels like forever after you lost a match. If you won a match, it's like, nothing at all. It's like 500 steps. But you're walking forever down this hallway, and I happened to be walking down, and I saw Carlo Beato and Edgy walking down the hall, and I guess it was Carlo's wife or somebody. They were just having a blast. Seemed like they didn't have a care in the world. Carlos seems to be relaxed. We know he's not going to the World Championship, right, Mike?
No, he's staying in Vegas. He's going to be playing the U.S. Open events that are going to be out here, and he's. I think him and Federer are probably going to be in the finals of every single event there.
So think about it. He doesn't have the stress that the other players have about getting packed up and getting over to Europe right after this. Just seems like he's real relaxed and real confident, and I gotta like his chances from here.
Yeah. I mean, it's deep. It's deep. Carlos probably in this field. He's probably got to be in that top 5 to 7 favorite. Easily.
Yeah.
And I'm saying like the Coes and the Changs and Jason Shaw, of course Shane Van Boning. In that class of player, because I do think they're in a class of their own. But a lot of these guys can go and get there for sure. And I mean, it's a great event, man. You can pick anyone and be liking your odds.
Pinozzo says his phone's blowing up because people say you misquoted him.
Mike hasn't said the name World Championship in 40 years. I'm just kidding, Mike.
So, Mike, are there any other side stories or things that you've witnessed being out there? I know you're keeping me here at the table to watch our equipment, and you're going in there and enjoying yourself with all the matches, rubbing elbows with all the pros. Anything that you
ain't been out there because I've been out here having a cover for you.
You were there all morning.
No.
Any comments, anything you can share with the audience out there that's sitting at home?
No, I mean, if you're not here, you're missing out because it really is a special event. I love coming here, and it's despite the Rio. So, when you're out here in our bubble out here, it's pretty awesome because it's amazing pool. It's world-class pool. And then there's a women's event going on also. So anywhere you look, it's top talent. Players are starting to cash and team events, so they're all excited, and there's just an energy out here, man, like unlike any other. So, but I do, to Matchroom's credit and to the Expo's credit, I think that you have an opportunity to get a similar type of buzz at the Expo because of the way that it's all laid out, if they don't charge admission.
Well, I tell you, I came down today, and we've been doing this for 8 days, 9 days now. And so there was a part of me that was dragging myself down here, just kind of tired and fatigued. Right. But when I got down here and I saw the energy of the teams that are cashing in events and woohoo and excited and, yelling throughout the rotunda, it uplifted me. It got me excited about this because, Mike, this is what we're here for. We're here to get all of these players that are playing on the 7-foot tables to start to look over at those 9-foot tables, to start to look at those guys and gals playing over there and get behind this. Because how many of those those players that are in there on teams are paying for streams? How many of those players would support professional pool? And the answer
Eric
is
just won. He said,
yeah. Oh, did he really?
Yeah, that's what Tanner just
Holy
said. It's
moly.
pretty sweet.
But that's really what we're trying to do. That's what Predator's trying to do in CSI. They're trying to get more of the casual pool player, more of the elite player, and more of the people who aren't even involved in pool.
You need those
to get
people in
excited
order
about
to
it.
go and help support. Like Karim said, also, we can save ourselves, but it takes having the pool players to go and have an interest in what's going on the professional side of the game. So
Yeah. Well, one thing I will say about the video, Mike, they're doing some renovations here, and
I heard we may be one of the few people that have an opportunity to go and check out the new rooms they got.
I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
And the problems that they're encountering here, every hotel is encountering. And that is that, if you guys are out here, restaurants are closing a little early. They're out of milkshakes at the Smash Burger.
Dude, you don't even know, y'all.
I've been stressing about those
tilt
milkshakes
that Joey gets when they say we're out of milkshakes, like the disdain on his face when he hears that. I mean, I want to go eat by myself.
Smash Burger's dogging it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but the point is that it's hard to find workers right now, and it's something the whole city out here is struggling with.
I'm struggling with finding good help in the booth, too.
Yeah, true. That's true. So hurtful. But the point I'm trying to make is it's going to bounce back, and they're renovating this facility. This is the largest CSI right now, is the largest convention that they have at the hotel. So they have more power now to get the hotel to kind of do certain things that are good for them.
I didn't know. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So it used to be the World Series of Poker, and now they've moved. And so now CSI has the biggest presence here of any trade show or anything.
Well, I'll tell you, yeah, well, we got told the other day that we were going to be able to check it out, and it's happening today. So we're super pumped, and we'll relay, what all we can find out. And I mean, I'm excited, man. I'm pumped overall. So, And it's been a great event, but it's not over yet. We got more plans. We're going to be getting a few more interviews in that we can over the next 2 days.
Let's see if we can get Eric Roberts right now. He just won. It's crazy. Kid's through to the final 32 of the 10-ball World Championship.
I mean, what do you want to do? Do you want to cut it off and then come back?
Yeah, I think we need to.
Okay, well, then shut it down. Let's roll.
Awesome, guys.
I'll go bring him in.
Thanks for staying with us. Hang tight. We'll try